AT&T, Kevin Prendergast, Director of Wealth Management here at the Retirement Network, Leelyn Smith. I'm recording this video on April 21st, 2022. I will certainly get into the March 2022 segment rates here in a second. They are materially higher than the prior months. So we'll talk about the implications and where things look to be heading there. But first, let's spend a few minutes on the recently completed Warner Brothers Discovery transaction. Generally speaking, you probably have exposure to AT&T stock in one of three venues. Number one, which is far and away the most common, is the AT&T Shares Fund. That's a holding within the 401k retirement savings plan at Fidelity. That's far and away the most common. Number two, you might just have shares of AT&T that you own outright in a brokerage account or something similar. Number three, you might be at the director level or higher where you have some form of equity compensation, so restricted stock units or options or non-qualified deferred compensation. So they're generally folks that are at a certain level within the company, okay? So 401k retirement savings plan, you'll notice a new holding, the Warner Brothers Discovery Stock Fund. You'll have 0.24 units of that fund for every 1 unit of the AT&T Shares Fund you had as of the record date, which was earlier this month. And you can decide to sell that holding, so reposition it, and some of the other holdings rebalance, if you will, or you can hold it. Looks like there's going to be about 12 months, and then at the end of that 12 months, you'll receive some communication about what your options are for there. So if you want to take that kind of wait and see approach, you can. Warner Brothers Discovery, totally independent company of AT&T. It's a media company. AT&T is a telecom company. It's reasonable to expect those two companies and the stocks associated with them to perform dramatically differently going forward. Independent companies, different business models, et cetera. Venue number two, stock that you own outright. Again, you receive 0.24 shares of WBD in exchange for every 1 share of AT&T that you had approximately. And venue number three, you were given more AT&T stock exposure. So if you had those forms of equity compensation we talked about, so things like RSUs, options, non-qualified deferred compensation, any kind of venue that was given to you based on your level within the company, your status within the company, you were given more AT&T units, stock, et cetera, to compensate you for the value of WBD that left the company. Okay, so that's the Warner Brothers Discovery stock plan. If you have questions, reply to the email containing this video, call our office, visit our website. All right, so let's get into your regularly scheduled programming, so to speak, the segment rates. And there's our website. So go ahead and click the get your free assessment button, or again, you can always reply to the email containing this video. And we do monitor that inbox. All right. The March 2022 segment rates as published by the IRS. And again, we're always kind of looking back towards the November rates. So generally speaking, for most of AT&T's pension programs, a lump sum commenced this year in 2022 is generally going to reference these November of 21 segment rates down here. So if you're on the fence, what does this mean, right? The March 2022 rates, they're a lot higher. 244 in the first segment, 371 in the second segment, 394 in the third segment. They're a lot higher. So if you're on the fence about retiring this year or commencing your pension this year, if you're already retired, versus next year, if you're on the fence, things are leaning towards retiring this year. If you're going to work for AT&T for a long, long time, this is a factor to monitor, but probably not going to dictate your decision-making as to whether or not you retire from AT&T. Your decision is probably bigger than that. But again, if you're on the fence between retiring this year, or if you're already retired, commencing your pension this year, it's definitely looking like a pension lump sum commenced in 2023 is not going to be as attractive as a pension lump sum commenced in 2022. All else being equal. Of course, as always, the modified rule of 75 is very important. So if you don't have that yet, that's probably your driving force. But if you've got the modified rule of 75, you're on the fence about retiring / commencing your pension lump sum this year versus next year, it's looking like 2022 is going to be a heck of a lot better than 2023 based on how things are trending. Okay. Hopefully this is helpful, and we'll see you next month. Take care.